When you see people using the Olympia Cremina at home, a lot of times you'll see this little pressure gauge at the top. Now, what is this? This is the piston pressure kit from Naked Portafilter, and it measures the pressure of the extraction, the pressure of the group head as you're pulling the shot. Not the pressure of the boiler, which is this one, but the pressure going through the coffee grounds. The question is it worth it? Well, I've been using the PPK for about 6 months now, and I can tell you, every Cremina owner should get one. It's gonna change your espresso game overnight. It's gonna make your espresso taste a lot better. Now, after using it for about 6 months, personally, I don't really feel a need to use it so much anymore, but there's a reason why I still use it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name is Arthur and welcome to Coffee with Arthur, where I waste my beans so you don't have to. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at why did I decide to get this originally? 2, what's it like receiving it, getting it, and installing it? 3, what's it like to use it? 4, the good points and the not so good points. And 5, why I don't use this anymore, why I wouldn't choose to use this, but I still recommend it for everyone, and why I still have it on here. Also, I put chapter marks down below this video, so please watch the section that you're interested in watching. You don't have to watch all of it, just choose the part you want to watch.
So let's get into why I got the pressure profile kit. I started my espresso journey with a flare signature, and it came with a pressure gauge. And I found that knowing the pressure was really important and really helpful for pulling the right shot. And I found that I have a specific pressure profile that I like to use, and I wanted to make sure I was hitting those points with the Cremina. But the Cremina is kind of like a black box. When you pull a shot, you have no clue what temperature the group head is at or how much pressure you're pulling. I wanted to get into that 6 to 9 bar range, but was I hitting it? Well, I wasn't sure. This was a new machine and the feel was so different. So the option I found was the Piston Pressure Kit by Naked Portafilter. But when I looked on the website, it said you have to install it yourself, and now I'm not a very handy guy, so taking apart the Cremina and installing the pressure kit by myself seemed like a daunting task. But, I wanted a challenge, and so I ordered it. So I ordered it from Gabor, and the international shopping was $30 USD, and it came fast. It really came fast. I think it came through FedEx. Now, what do you get? When you order the Piston Pressure Kit, it comes in a small cardboard box about the width of the palm of your hand, and just holding that box, well, it felt weighty. And when you open the box, there's an introduction to what's in the package and a link to the video on how to install the pressure kit. You get some lubricant, a black gasket guard, the piston rod, some screws and rods, and most importantly, the pressure gauge. And that's it, just a few parts, nothing too intimidating. The pressure gauge is very simple. It has the Naked Portafilter logo on it, but it feels pretty stock. It does have a nice weight to it, though. The piston rod is custom made to replace the stock piston rod in the Cremina. There are indentations on the side where you put the other rods to hold the piston rod into the fork of the lever, but the center is hollow because air needs to go up the piston into the pressure gauge. The black gasket guard is what you put on the gasket when sliding the piston back into the group head to make sure you don't hurt the gaskets, and more on that later. So how was it to actually install? Well, actually, it wasn't that difficult, if you have the tools, that is, which I didn't at first. To take out the piston, you need to take off the circlips on the fork. For that, you need A0 size circlip pliers. Link in the description below on where to get them. I made the mistake of not using circlip pliers and then buying circlip pliers that weren't the right size. What a headache. Now, what about the video on setting it up? Well, the video itself has no narration, so it was a little confusing, but it was easy to follow the exact steps. Just watch exactly what Gabor is doing and copy what he does exactly in the video. And in the video, he uses gasket picks, but on my first time, I didn't use them, and I didn't have any trouble, or so I thought. But please, be careful and follow the instructions as closely as you can. The first time I installed it, no problem. It worked great. Then I uninstalled it and used the stock piston for reasons I'll share later. And then for videos, I wanted to put on the piston pressure kit, so I reinstalled it and I started to get a small drip from the group head. Well, I thought I had installed it incorrectly, so I took it out and reinstalled it. More drips. What happened? Where was this drip coming from? I took off the shower screen and saw it was from the gaskets. Oh no, I thought I had damaged them. Was it the piston pressure kit or was it me? Well, anyways, I was convinced that the gaskets were damaged. So I ordered some new gaskets from Cherini, got a gasket pick like I saw in Gabor's video. But before I installed the new gaskets, I wanted to test the pick on the current gaskets. In my mind, they were already broken, so it didn't matter if I broke them more, right? So I followed the instructions again carefully, using the pick to slowly nudge the gasket back in and using the black piston guard. And you know what? The drips were gone. The problem wasn't the gasket or the piston kit. Actually, I had stopped using the gasket guard when I installed the piston on the second and third time, and that's what led to the problem. The problem wasn't in the product, it was in me. And since then, I've had no problems at all, so please follow the instructions closely. If you follow the instructions and get the right tools, anyone can definitely do this. It's pretty simple. So now that we've talked about installation, let's talk about how was it in use. Well, to be honest, it works perfectly. It performs just like the stock piston. It almost feels like this came stock with the Cremina, and my shots became better overnight. I was able to calibrate the force of my arm to the amount of pressure I wanted to make. I had realized that I had been trying to pull above 9 bars. It was really like the black box was open to me, and I knew instantly what pressure I was pulling. Now, I knew how much I should expect to push to get the desired taste from my espresso. I finally knew what 3 bars, 6 bars, and 9 bars felt like, and I could easily see if my grind was too fine or too coarse. And this is why I recommend it to anyone. Instantly, your shots are going to get that much better. Now, are there any negatives about this? Well, there are kind of 2 weak points that I don't know if they can even be improved, but I want to share them with you. When I was installing the pressure kit the second time, I lost a spacer that goes between the fork and the piston, and so I have a bit more sideways give than the average person on my lever. I'm still in the process of finding a replacement spacer. I've noted that the piston rods can get caught in the fork, and with enough left to right motion, they can be pulled out and separate from the piston. And then the piston sinks down and you have to pull it up and reconnect it. And sometimes it happens when I'm about to pull a shot and I have to wait for my machine to cool down. It's a headache. But that may be just because of my setup and the way I use it. You know, I hold the lever when I lock in the portafilter, and so the fork moves horizontally and catches the piston rods when I lock the portafilter. But I find myself pushing in the piston rods sometimes. But honestly, how could you even fix that? The center of the piston needs to be hollow for the air to pass through, so you can't just have one rod going through the center. I think this is just something I have to live with. Now there's one more gripe that I do have. When I use the piston pressure kit piston, not the stock piston, but the regular piston, when I go to lock in my portafilter, the handle of my portafilter touches the handle of the lever. Now, this may not be something that bothers a lot of people, but for me, the Cremina is a perfectly engineered machine, and on the stock piston, this doesn't happen. It gets ever so close, but it doesn't happen. And I actually talked with Gabor about this, and he intentionally made it that way. He wanted to make it so that the users can get that much more water out of their espresso because the water chamber is kind of limited. So I wouldn't even say it's a problem. It's a design choice that he has made that I personally don't agree with, but I know other people probably don't care about it so much. But really, those are the only 2 gripes I have, and once I get a new spacer, one of the problems are going to be gone. But other than that, it's wonderful to use. Now, if it's so good, then why would I not want to use it more? Why would I want to take it off? Now, this is a personal issue that I don't think the average user will have a problem with. This is just something for me. You know, the problem I had was that I realized I was looking at the pressure gauge too much when pulling a shot. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, now that I knew what pressure I was hitting, subconsciously, I was always trying to hit 9 bar, always trying to hit 6 bar. I was always trying to get that needle up to that point, to the detriment of the coffee. You know, what I've learned is that absolute pressure is important in the shot, but what affects the taste a lot more is the pressure profile and the flow rate. Keeping a fairly consistent flow rate while letting the pressure rise and drop was more important than hitting 9 bars. But I was so focused on getting that needle up to 6 or 9 that I was putting on too much pressure and I was messing up those pressure flow rate profiles, and the flow rate was getting way too fast and I was getting under extracted coffee.
Basically, I was getting too analytical and I was losing that sense, that Zen aspect that I love using with the Cremina. And that's why initially I took it off a couple of times because I wanted to just focus on the sense. But the reason I keep it on is for you guys, honestly. When you're watching my videos, you can see the pressure gauge actually moving in real time for the shot. So I think it's more helpful for you guys. But I want to give you guys even more insight into my extractions in my future videos. So I ordered the Smart Espresso Profiler, and actually it came today. I'm pretty excited to use it. And I'm going to pair it with my Akaya Lunar Scale so you guys can see the pressure and the output in real time on one screen. It'll be really convenient for you, I think. I'm planning a lot more reviews and dialing in videos, so if you haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe. It really helps this channel and I really get motivated to make more videos for you guys. So if you're enjoying these videos, please give a like and subscribe. Now there's one more reason why I really recommend this product. Now this product is in of itself great by its own merits, but I also want to support this product because of the person who made it. You know, Gabor is just an amazing guy. He's very active in the espresso community on different forums and in the Facebook groups. And when I had some issues, I messaged him directly and his response time was really fast. You can really see he has a real passion for this and he loves helping his customers. He loves making great products. And so I really feel happy supporting Gabor in his business. And at the World of Coffee Expo in Milan, I went to his booth, and when he saw me, he recognized me and greeted me like a friend that he had known for a while. And that was really meaningful to me, to be honest. If you buy one of his products, Gabor really has your back. He has great customer service and passion for what he does. So I'm very happy to support him and to promote his products. Now, I bought these products. He didn't give them to me. I bought them 100% by myself, but even then, I really support these. I think these are great, well-made products. Now, the price isn't cheap. Is it really worth it? Well, in my opinion, if you're throwing down the money for a Cremina already, the actual money it costs to get this is not that much in comparison, and it's going to improve your shot quality immediately. It's going to help you look into the black box that is the Cremina and help you get better tasting coffee overnight. And so I think it's a no-brainer. Everybody should get it until they develop that muscle memory where they don't even need to look at the pressure gauge and they know the kind of pressure that they're pulling in their shots. Now, let me ask you guys, do you have any other questions about the Piston pressure kit that you want to ask an actual user? Or do you have one and are you actually using it? What's your experience been like? Please leave your questions in your comments in the comment box below. I'd love to look at them and I'd love to answer your questions and just read your comments. Well, anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time.